Blackbeard dropped a bombshell. Buggy the Clown is also his child. But how does Buggy the Clown fit in all of this? Luffy, Shanks and Blackbeard should all be scared. Why? Well, the greatest pirate ever, Buggy the Clown, decided to join the battle for One Piece.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm! What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm!
Like, my guy's personality is that of a complete weakling. Well, leaving aside the facial similarities from the tattoo around their eyes to their expression, we aren't left with much, right? No, actually we are. Like Blackbeard, Buggy was born in the Grand Line. And like Blackbeard, Buggy is actually very different from normal humans. Yes, I'm talking about his nose. Following the same theory of XEBEC wanting to create a future where he actually wins against the Celestial Dragons, he added to his contingencies. Now, granted, all three Yonko being related seems crazy. And with how the story is shaping up right now, our Battle Royale theory at Laugh Tale is coming into fruition. Our deep future sight have deduced that Buggy will actually be the next Pirate King.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Buggy's secret confidence ability to fail upwards trumps even Luffy's main protagonist powers. You know, he actually has a pretty good chance when you think about it. Like, my guy has the backing of Mihawk, who could go toe-to-toe with Shanks, Crocodile, who was ready to throw hands with even Whitebeard and Marineford, and countless deadly escapees from Impel Down. So, he at least has a better chance than Kid and Law, who both got fodderized. Now we then jump to Karai Badi Island, the base of Cross Guild. We then see just how revered Buggy is by the entire Cross Guild. They see him as a deity, where even getting an audience with him is a great privilege. As Crocodile and Mihawk engage in their master plan, Buggy cringes at their low-level IQ. In fact, he even exclaims his surprise in thinking they could even call themselves pirates with a scheme like that. He shouts, telling them that they are doing it all backwards. What Crocodile and Mihawk fail to understand is that Buggy is a natural influencer. He doesn't need power, he doesn't need wealth to garner these people around him. Rather, he has luck and charisma. And Buggy isn't wrong. As a true pirate, Buggy knows that a captain needs to have this quality, and then in turn, this influence develops into power, which acquires wealth. This is literally the reverse order of what Mihawk and Crocodile are trying to achieve. With Buggy finally understanding his experience over Mihawk and Crocodile, thinks back to his days on the Pirate King ship, where once he was so close in getting to Laugh Tale, but unfortunately he wasn't able to get there. But now, hearing that his contemporary Shanks, after 24 years, is finally going after the One Piece, he too wants to chase that dream and fulfill the promise they had made. However, we then learn more about Buggy's past, on how he saw himself as an inferior compared to Shanks, who shined so brightly with potential. And though he wanted to continue on his captain's legacy, he felt that Shanks would have been the one to do it. However, 24 years ago, during Roger's execution, Shanks completely bamboozled Buggy in telling him that he has changed his mind about going to Laugh Tale, as he felt that he wasn't ready. Buggy, who respected and revered Roger, when he heard Shanks wasn't going to continue Roger's legacy by becoming the Pirate King, he felt betrayed. Just imagine you have a dream but you see your friend as more capable of achieving it, so you let it go, only for him to say that he ain't even doing it.
My disappointment is immeasurable.
Using this disappointment as an excuse, he called Shanks a coward and didn't become his subordinate. But now that Buggy is an emperor with a powerful crew of his own, he thinks he too can become the Pirate King. In a way, Buggy's situation is similar to that of Shanks 24 years ago, with his own crew being the representation of Buggy, who held deep admiration. So in his eyes, if he doesn't join the race now, this time he will be the coward. So Buggy the Clown, with his newfound spirit, declaring that now, either by luck or chance, he is on equal footings with Shanks, so he will go ahead and say it. He will become the king of pirates. Wealth, power. Why stop there when they can have it all? Let's go for it and claim the ultimate treasure, One Piece. Buggy takes reign, showing the other two his determination, revealing his true power and conqueror's haki. Buggy shouts into a nearby transponder snail and starts rallying the cross guild members with the power of one word, One Piece. Buggy finally has his Pirate King moment, as though he has embodied Roger himself minutes before his execution. Buggy reminds every single pirate the reason they even decided to sail out to the sea in the first place. It was all for One Piece. Reigniting the hearts of all of his men, he declares that Cross Guild is officially joining the race to Laugh Tale. Whilst Mihawk and Crocodile are shocked at this, everyone in our Ball community already knew. Yes, we had predicted Buggy would not only reach Laugh Tale, but become the Pirate King. Okay, but for reals, just hear me out. I honestly believe that Buggy will become the Pirate King in a way no one will expect. And don't get me wrong, of course Luffy by the end of the series will still become the true and freest pirate in the sea. Basically the real Pirate King. But the thing is, the world's definition of Pirate King is different than Luffy's. We even saw this with Bartholomew thinking that Pirate King meant the biggest pirate in chapter 800. Furthermore, Luffy in Fishman Island emphasizes that he doesn't want to be a hero, nor is he a person who seeks out fame. This was also reinforced by Luffy telling his Grand Fleet that he doesn't have to be a boss or a great pirate. In fact, only those who have a good sense of observation notices Luffy's power to bring people together, along with all of his other special qualities. Luffy's Pirate King status will be recognized by his crew and the other top dogs, maybe even the higher ups of the world government, and of course the new leaders of the post-Emu era. Like all the world leaders and princesses who Luffy saved will see him as the most powerful person in the sea. However, this image will only be reflected within an inner circle, whereas with Buggy, his influence reaches further and wider than anyone can imagine. Let's not forget, Buggy is an entertainer, an actual influencer. This power is recognized by Crocodile and Mihawk to the point they saw value in keeping him alive and part of their organization as a puppet leader nonetheless. And if you think about it, when we go back to Roger, he stated that the news and the world's perception is what propagated him being called the Pirate King. And when it does come to the world news, Morgan will be able to easily sell Buggy becoming the Pirate King compared to Luffy, as Buggy has a reputation of being once under the previous Pirate King and now a leader of the deadliest organization of all time. And this organization is also seen as a haven for the misfortunate, as we have seen with the old poor man. He not only saved his family from starvation, but also promised to protect him from the world government. In a way, Buggy is acting like a king, a hero to his people, something which Luffy is but will never claim. All of this will lead Buggy to be labeled as the Pirate King. But how will this even happen? Will Buggy really find the One Piece before Luffy, Shanks and Blackbeard? Well, this brings us back to Oda's statement about the up and coming fights after Wano, where if he had to give a title, then he would call it a free-for-all battle royale. Though we still believe Oda was implying multiple battles across the seas, and boy did he deliver. Blackbeard versus Law, Shanks versus Kid, Garp versus Kuzan, like it was all over the place. But what if this statement also inferred an actual Yonko Royal Rumble? And what better place to have it in than Laugh Tale itself? Like, come on, 3 out of 4 Yonkos nearly have all 4 road poneglyphs. The only thing left is finding the final one, which is assumed to be with the man with the burn mark. But now you lot are probably thinking, how will Buggy get to Laugh Tale? He doesn't have any poneglyphs. Well, here's the thing, Buggy is not stupid as he looks. He has already been to Laugh Tale's vicinity and likely knows where it could be. All he needs is a strong crew to get past the sea's hurdle, which he has, and then camp where he last left off, waiting for either one of the Yonkos to run past so they can just follow them to the actual destination. This is something Buggy could easily do Emu now. Reaching Laugh Tale together with Luffy, Shanks and Blackbeard will tie the story all together, as I'm sure it will have treasures that all of these pirate crew desire in some way. Laugh Tale's location will have to be also publicly exposed, along with the true history of the world. Crocodile and Mihawk will want to establish their utopia by the end of the series, but like all politicians, they will still need Buggy to be the puppet leader, and after realizing that Buggy is in fact a really great influencer, they wouldn't see him as a burden but as an asset. However, this utopia will end up becoming a safe haven for actual pirates who the Neo government that will be formed will still deem a threat. This safe haven would in turn act as a kingdom, implying their leader is in fact a king. So Buggy not only will become the pirate king in the public's perception, but also a king in the eyes of pirates. Yep, that's it, guys. But if you guys want to know about Emu, then smash the like button and get this video over 10,000 likes, and I'll make sure to make a dedicated video on Emu D. Judas.